All right. Hi, everyone. I just want to say thank you for joining me this evening. My name is Brittany Lucifer, and I am the CEO of Brittany Lucifer Fit. And I just wanted to thank you for showing interest in my basic meal prep or weekly meal plan video. And I'm just going to be kind of talking everything over with you. Hopefully, I am not too echoey in here. And we don't have any issues. So I'm going to go ahead and just get right into it and get started and just jump right in. Okay. So I am recording. So for any of you that missed, you may be watching the replay. If you have any questions or any comments or anything like that, you can certainly email me back. I'm going to be sending out the link, text me anything to be able to get in contact with me. And then for those of you that are on, if you have any questions or comments at any time, you can just jump in the chat box, send a little message, anything like that. Okay, so it's going to be we are limited on time for the recording, but hopefully it shouldn't be too bad at all. I would say maybe about 20 to 30 minutes. I guess it also depends on how fast I talk. Sometimes I can kind of speed it up, but I will try to break it down really simply and easily for you. So what I want to first point out is that I used to never do this. I used to not focus on like a meal plan or a menu plan. And there are some weeks that I still do not fully meal plan out. I have the advantage of being able to work at home some days. So sometimes it's kind of fly by the seat of our pants. But I notice that I stay on track better. And I just really find that I am less stressed whenever I stick to a meal plan or a menu plan. So what I like to do, or what I find that helps me, is I basically take a notebook paper and I will, I didn't think about that. This is going to be a little bit backwards for you, I think, viewing. So, okay. So anyways, it's going to be a little bit backwards, but this is my menu plan here. Hopefully you can see it okay. That I made out for, I actually have 2 weeks. I have this week and then I have next week on here also. So I kind of just take a notebook paper and I break it out by section per day. Okay. So I have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday here together. And what I like to do is I mainly like to focus on showing, I feel like my lighting just changed. There we go. Got really weird there for a second. I'm sorry. I like to focus on really writing out supper because I feel like that's the biggest struggle for a lot of us. Just being busy and being on the go. Planning out supper is the biggest thing, and then I can kind of fill in lunch where needed and breakfast and snacks and things like that, and I will talk about those. But so I go through and I break down for what I'm doing for each day of the week for supper, okay? So yesterday was my husband's birthday, so we actually we had dinner out. Okay, so I had that plugged in here, and then I plugged in for the next thing. I think my paper is what's changing the color. But then for tonight, I had we did grilled chicken, sweet potatoes, and roasted veggies. I apologize, this is backwards. Wednesday, tomorrow we're gonna have taco bowls. I have a long day at work, so I planned something that is going to be easy and be helpful based on my meal prepping earlier in the week. Thursday, leftovers. Friday, dinner out. I'm going to a concert with some of my Bible study friends, so I know that I'm going to have dinner out. And then Saturday, I have spaghetti, squash spaghetti, and Sunday something in the crock pot. And then I kind of went through the next week and did something, similar. And I based it off of meals that I know I can build off of each other. And that's something I like to do throughout the week because it helps with meal prepping. So I have unstuffed cabbage rolls. We have, what do I have here? Oh, leftovers for Tuesday. A lot of times I know I'm going to have a busy week next week. It's going to be crazy for me at work, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So Tuesday is going to be leftovers. Wednesday, stuffed peppers. It's going to also be something I'm building off of. Thursday, leftovers. Friday, baked salmon, veggies, and sweet potatoes. Saturday I have crock pot, and Sunday I have grill night, okay? So what I do is I like to break this out and I make out the menu for supper, okay? And then what I do is I take on another piece of paper and I figure out what I'm going to need for the recipes, okay? So I'll look at the recipes and I will see, okay, I'm going to need these particular items, and I look and see, okay, what are things that I probably already know that I have on stock in my pantry? And I list those out. What I already should have in stock in the freezer, and I list those things out. And then I list out things that I know are going to be more fresh items that I'm going to have to get at the grocery store for the week. And if there's anything, I check my pantry and freezer for these items. And if there's anything over here that's not in the pantry that I maybe need to restock on, I'll move it over to the grocery list. Now, of course, there are some things on the grocery list that I did not have specifically wrote out in the meal plan or on the menu for each night. Things like tomatoes, spinach, mixed greens, carrots, different things like that, because those are things that I'm going to use for snacks and kind of fill in with lunches and things like that. So once I have the suppers down and what I know the recipes are, the items that I will need for those things, I write that down. Then I also figure out, okay, what am I going to do for lunches and what am I going to do for snacks, okay? So for lunches, a lot of times I have salads. I'll make use of leftovers. I'll mix and match different items for my meal prepping. Or I like to also do quinoa salads, which is really good. I'll explain that to you also. And then for snacks, I do things like overnight oats. I do veggies, fruit, and almond butter, or you could do peanut butter. RX bars, so they are a like a granola bar that I get online that are clean, that I think are really good. I really enjoy them. I'd be happy to share the link with you. They're just made of like egg whites, dates. If like I like the blueberry ones, and then I like the coconut / chocolate ones. So they just have minimal ingredients. They're really good, and they hold me over great as well for snacks. I also do quinoa salad, homemade chips and guacamole, avocados, and hard-boiled eggs, okay? So a lot of these things are easy things that you can prep out. So then I also take these items and I add them to the grocery list where needed, okay? So those are the big things that I do at first. And then so I will go and I will grocery shop for everything. And then how I kind of plan it out is like this. So at the beginning of the week, I will just let you know, since we ate out yesterday and I was actually off work yesterday, it was kind of a different day for me. I didn't actually get any, and we were out of town this weekend, so I didn't get any meal prepping or anything like that done over the weekend. So this evening after work, I meal prepped some things. I meal prepped, when I did the grilled chicken, I made extra. I made more than what we needed for just Mitchell and I, okay? Same with the roasted veggies. And the sweet potatoes, I made more than what was going to feed our family, okay? For the taco bowls, to go ahead and prep that so it's easier for me since I have a late night tomorrow, I went ahead and I prepped up quinoa. I prepped up a big thing of it. I did a double batch serving of it, and I made a huge Pyrex container, okay? So I can use that for the taco bowls tomorrow night. I'll be able to use that on top of salads throughout the week for lunch. I like to have it as a snack, or I can make the quinoa salad out of it. Quinoa salad to me is I just add in like some tomatoes, cucumbers, diced onions, and some different seasoning, okay? And any of these recipes, I would be happy to send you the links. Actually, whenever I upload this video and get it processed and send it out, I will be sending those out. So thank you for asking that. I will get that sent out with everything as well, because I know that that's nice to have, and you want to be able to obviously utilize what I'm doing here. So I went ahead and prepped that quinoa. I also went ahead and prepped hard-boiled eggs today. I went ahead and chopped up veggies. So like whenever I come home from the store, I like to wash and prep the fruit and the veggies, okay? Because it saves time, right? I know it's exhausting to do whenever you get home from the grocery store. I actually like grocery shopping. I like cooking, but it's a drag for me to put everything away. So what I think is really great to do though, and saves you from like grabbing a bag of chips or grabbing snacks or things that you maybe necessarily don't want to eat, to help you stay on track, to help you stay healthier and on your goals, is, you know, you prep and you wash those veggies and those fruits so then you can easily grab them and have them for a snack, okay? It's just going to help set you up for success. Going to help set your kids up for success to get in more fruits and vegetables, anything like that, okay, that you guys have going on for your family. It's just easy, quick, on the go. You can grab it. And it does take a little bit longer when you get home from the store, but it saves you so much time down the road, okay? The quinoa will also be used, like I said, for different snacks. You can actually make parfaits, like yogurt parfaits out of quinoa as well. I have not specifically done that myself, but it's a great thing that you can utilize, okay? And then anything else that you would want to maybe prep out. So I will set meat out, or I will go ahead and cook up extra meat ahead of time. So for the taco bowls tomorrow night, I was actually going to use like deer meat or something like that, or ground turkey, but I decided that I'm actually just going to use leftover chicken that I grilled up probably. So we'll just dice that up and add that in our burrito bowls. It'll already be ready to go. So the only thing that I'm going to have to do tomorrow for the burrito bowls to put them together are the taco bowls, is to rinse and drain a can of either black beans or pinto beans, whatever I feel like using, or maybe some of both. Thaw out, like take some frozen corn, rinse it out, mix it together with the quinoa, the chicken, and then add some seasonings and it's ready to go. You can put it on top of some lettuce, or you can put some lettuce on top with guacamole, avocado, that kind of thing. So it's really great. It's easy to be able to kind of prep and set yourself up that way. Leftovers, obviously you can just mix and match anything. You can have, you know, one of the meals that you already had. You can take things and throw them together differently. Just whatever you want to do. Whenever I meal prep, I know a lot of people meal prep, or they plan things out and they like make everything up and they put it into containers. And I do that sometimes. But I like to really just put like all of the quinoa in one bowl, all of the chicken in one bowl, all of the ground beef in one bowl, or, you know, whatever, different things like that. And then I can kind of take and throw them together in different meals, however suits us. Okay. Now, sometimes I will go ahead and take and I portion out things for lunch, especially after I've made a meal. I do that a lot of times, okay? But I like it all to be separate so then I can mix and match it throughout the week however I want and change it up, and it's not so mundane. For the spaghetti squash, what you could prep is, if you like to make your own homemade sauce, you can prep that ahead of time. If you know you're going to have a busy weekend, you can also cook up your meat like a day or two before as well, okay? And then you just have it ready to go. The same thing goes for the following week. The unstuffed cabbage rolls, the stuffed peppers, they're going to use the same kind of meat. So whenever I make the unstuffed cabbage rolls, I would just brown up an extra pound of meat to be able to go ahead. I would have my quinoa already prepped to use for the stuffed peppers. Just different things like that are going to help you be successful for the week. I do as much as I can, like a couple of days in advance, okay? And I just make sure that I know where I'm going to use it. And something else that's great, so like next week, whenever we have this unstuffed cabbage and we have this stuffed peppers, what's really great is that I can take the leftover stuffing, because I always make more than what goes in the peppers, okay? I know you probably do the same thing. But I always have more filling or more stuffing, so then I like to put it on top of salad then for lunch that, you know, another day, and it can be kind of like a taco salad. It's really great. Those are things that you can just prep ahead of time. It's really easy. I like to do that. I think it sets me up for success. So I'm trying to think here if there's anything else that I want to touch on and explain. I think that kind of covers it for the most part. The biggest thing I want to say though to you is just failing to plan is planning to fail, okay? So if you don't have a plan, you're obviously going to fail at it. You're going to be scrambling. You're going to be stressed. You're going to be more apt to, you know, drive through fast food or do something like that. And our house, we like to eat a lot cleaner. I particularly do. My husband does not always follow at 100%. So, you know, don't be stressed out if you're trying to stay on track a little bit more and maybe your kids or your husband are not fully 100% committed to doing the same thing you are. What you can do is you can modify things. You can do things the same way that I do. You can prep things out, and then you can, you know, add different things for them, or change up the seasoning for them, different things like that. So you can play around with stuff and really find what works for you. I will tell you there are a lot of things, like we used to not eat the spaghetti squash. I was kind of really nervous about making it. We had tried it, and it's really good. First few times that I made it, I actually made the spaghetti squash, and I still, you know, boiled up some noodles for Mitchell, and I was like, just try this, you know, like the biggest thing, and it's something that I like to kind of reinforce with a lot of people that I help, like my challengers, and help them with their meal planning and everything like that, is just explaining to them that, remember when you were little, or, you know, maybe you have kids, and they always say that you have to introduce a food 3 to 5 times for a child to like it, to know if they really like it, that kind of thing. That's the same as adults. There are a lot of things that I eat now that I used to not eat, you know, and the same as with Mitchell. So I was like, I would just tell him, I was like, just try it, see if you like it, and we'll kind of go from there. And eventually he started asking for spaghetti squash over the noodles. And, you know, it would just kind of happen that way, and it took off. Yes, he still likes pasta. I don't eat a lot of it because I've cut a lot of gluten and dairy out of my diet. But, you know, sometimes you just make modifications. And then, you know, the way I look at it is whenever I make those modifications for him, it's just more of the item that I want for myself that I have to use for lunch on other days. So you got to try to just see the positive side in it and look and see what's going to benefit you and your family the most, okay? You can do this with any type of recipes. You can do this with any type of plan that you have in place, or with items that your family likes. You obviously do not have to use the same things that we like. This is just an example for you for 2 weeks of what to do. You can take any of your family's favorites and you can plan them out to where you can build off of each other for the rest of the week, okay? It's really great once you figure it out and you learn how to kind of stagger everything, because it just makes it so much easier for you, and you can cook up like a couple of pounds of meat and use one of the pounds, you know, later in the week or something like that. I do have a lot of people tell me sometimes that they don't really like leftovers, which is crazy to me because we grew up, you know, eating leftovers, and that was just something we did. So if you are a person that doesn't care for a lot of leftovers, like maybe in particular, I've heard from people before that they're particular with like their meat, okay? So they don't like meat like reheated or something like that, but they're fine with other things. So something you could do is you could just marinate meat throughout the week. So you could take and put chicken in like a Ziploc bag, and you can put it in with a marinade, and then whenever you are ready to make something, you just pull out a piece or two or however many pieces you need it, but then you still have it already prepped and marinated, and then you just have to bake it or grill it or whatever you're doing, okay? So those are some great ideas just to kind of get the basics down of what you want to do. You want to, like I said, start out by writing out your suppers, and then make that grocery list, okay, from what the recipe calls for, what you know you have on hand in your pantry or freezer. Add in your snacks and add those things, or in your lunches, and add those into your grocery list as well, okay? And then plan it out. You can just take a Sunday. It does take a little bit longer sometimes, but you will get the hang of it, and it will get quicker and get faster for you. And you can just build off each other. A lot of times it's stuff that I will build off of while making supper one night. You know, like I said, when I make the unstuffed cabbage rolls, I make extra meat, and then I can use the meat another day, okay? And then once I make that next meal, I take the extra filling, and then I use it for something else later in the week. So you get 3 meals out of cooking maybe once, because you can easily prep like the quinoa the same time you make the unstuffed cabbage rolls, okay? And then you have that stuff already ready to go for the next day. So it's really nice, and it's helpful, and it's beneficial. So I just want to say thank you for joining me this evening and taking time out of your evening to check this out with me. And if you have any questions, please let me know. I'd be more than happy to help you with them, answer them for you, and just anything that I can do. If you would like additional information on meal prepping, or more in depth, or maybe even some how-to videos, please let me know. I would be more than happy to do them and walk you through that, okay? I'll talk to you later. I hope you have a great night. Bye-bye.